G'day, good day to you, man. How the bloody hell are you? It is CrackAFruity back with some more Battlefield 3, and I'm playing some gun game. Now you might notice, I won't talk about the gameplay too much, but you might notice I did actually have a few connection issues with this game, as in my ping wasn't fantastic, but it is so hard to try and find a gun game, a lot of these party type games on Australian servers. So I found this one, I think it was on an Asian server, which is fairly close, but maybe not perfect. So if you see at any point a kill where you think, I probably should have killed him, put enough rounds into him, but I didn't, that might be why. But anyway, none of that is important. Of course, what is important is the fact that it is Friday, which means it's time for another Drunken story.
Yo, every motherfucking pedophile got a mustache, but not everybody with a mustache is a pedophile.
Anyway, my story that I'm going to be telling you tonight is unfortunately about me. I'd love to be able to tell you that it wasn't, that it was a friend of mine, and I guess I could make it up and lie to you, but that's not what I'm standing for. That's not what I'm going to give you. So this is nothing but the truth. This is my story. So here we go. Basically, a friend of mine had gone overseas to the Middle East to do whatever they do over in the Middle East with the Australian Air Force. Anyway, upon his return, it was a Sunday night. I had to work on the Monday. But anyway, myself and another friend of ours was at my place. We decided to have a few drinks and, you know, just to celebrate, I guess, him coming back. Obviously, he was still in one piece, and that's always a pretty good start. Now, if memory serves me, what I was going to do is go to the bottle shop or liquor store, whatever you want to call it, from wherever you are from. Basically, we went to the bottle shop, and I was going to get, you know, a six-pack of beer or whatever and see how it went. But being that there was a few of us, I think we ended up getting a carton of beer and a bottle of whiskey. And anyway, we got a lot deeper into those particular pieces of alcohol than we ever intended on getting. And at around about, I don't know, 12 o'clock, something like that, because I'd actually said I should go back a step. I had actually said to myself, it doesn't really matter how much I drink, as long as I get to bed at a reasonable hour that I can actually get a good amount of sleep off the alcohol, and be able to wake up not too hungover and function efficiently at work. So that was my plan. But anyway, going back to midnight that night, just as I was starting to think that, yeah, okay, this might be a pretty good time to actually go to bed, my other friend was like, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we go into town, into one of the pubs in town, and just have a few more drinks? And I kind of thought, you know what? Fuck it, why not? Because obviously I was drunk and incapable at that point of actually making any responsible or sensible decisions, so that seemed like a fantastic idea. So in the cab we jumped, headed off down into town, whereby, you know, on the way down I kind of did have a little bit of a real talk with myself, going, okay, you've decided to come out, but, you know, it's probably going to be best if you just have a quick beer or two and head home. Don't hang around long. And that takes me to the next time in the evening that I sort of, my flashbacks remember me. It was around about 3 o'clock in the morning, and as I said, had to be at work the next day. And at this point, I was completely shit-faced, like off my scone, no doubt about that. I drank far too much alcohol, and I knew that, yeah, it was time to go home. So, like a man possessed, I burst out of the pub doors and started walking home. Now that was probably my first mistake. What I should have done is jump in a cab, because that would have taken me about, I don't know, it's between 7 and 10 minutes to get home. But as there wasn't a cab right outside the pub door, I thought I'm going to walk. And by the way, it is around about a 45 to 50 minute walk home from the pub. And that's if you're sober. So, you know, we're probably talking an hour or more. Anyway, I put my head down and I soldiered on like the trooper that I was. And it was around about at this point that things started to get pretty sketchy. I really can't remember anything. And I think at the time I kind of went into some bizarre, barely awake, or barely conscious, but still able to soldier on, keep walking home. And anyway, I'd essentially passed out walking at this point. You know, I don't remember anything. It was just a blur. And anyway, obviously what's happened is I got up to a street not too far from my house. Nice long street, and I've obviously gone, hey, I really need to have a piss. I am hankering for a piss here. So on this particular street, there's a bit of a traffic island, an angled, sloped, banked traffic island. Or not traffic island, it's just like, I don't know, it's got grass and trees in it. So anyway, I decided that was a pretty good start to have and have a wee, or a pee, or a piss, or whatever you want to call it. And anyway, as I say, at this point I can't remember anything. And all of a sudden, I wake up. I kind of, you know, sort of like my whole world stops, like you see in the movies. Sort of, and everything pauses. And what I was half in the middle of falling forward. And you know, at this point, I've unzipped my trousers. I have my, you know, my tackle in my hand. At this point, I'm half falling forward. And that's when I snapped into it, and it just felt like my whole world froze, like some Matrix shit. And I was like, whoa, what am I doing? Next thing I know, I have just face planted straight into the side of the hill, cock in hand still at this point. I've just stubbed my dick into the wood chips, straight up, face planted into the wood chips. Thankfully, I had not started actually having a wee at this point. I don't know what I was doing, obviously just got prepared, and that was it. Passed out, fell over, and just completely stubbed. Yeah, anyway, but at that point I stood up, put my manhood back in my trousers, unfortunately was forced to leave my pride there on the side of the road, and continued jogging all the way home. Now, I'm not even going to tell you about the next day at work because it was utterly freaking atrocious. But anyway, that's my story. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. My friends do find that one particularly funny. Hopefully you have as well. If you have, please do feel free to give it a like. Let me know that you've enjoyed it and you would like to see more. If you've got any drunken stories of your own, also leave them in the comments section. And hopefully one day, if I get enough nice ones or good ones, I'll post a video and just read them all out. Now, this isn't my first Drunken Stories video. If you haven't seen my first, there'll be a little video playing in the top left-hand corner by now. Do give it a click, go and check it out. Hopefully you enjoy that one as well. And also hit subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos and all that sort of thing. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.